Greetings, everyone. Welcome again to the Business Application Show hosted by CSharpCorner community. And we are back with another session where we are discussing about the customer service. We have been discussing about the first party apps. So, in last session, we started discussing about that customer service. So, in this session, we are continuing that customer service so that we can just, connect the dots. In the earlier session, we discussed about that manual way of creating cases. So in this session, we are going to concentrate on the how we can create it automatically. Okay. So here is that agenda for today. So we will start with the basic introduction where we will do little bit revision what we discussed in the last session, and then we will see that how we can create automatic cases, like what are the different options that's available there. And we will also touch base queues. So we'll see that why queues are used and what is the functionality on that customer service they play. And then we will see that how we can set up that auto case creation rules, and we will also touch base the routing rules that's we use on the customer service as well. And then finally we will see the demo of these things. So let's before jumping into that our main topics, let's have a quick introduction about ourselves. Myself Mahender, and I have with me my friend Venkata. So we are basically both are Microsoft as well as C Sharp Corner MVPs, and we have been working with the Dynamics 365. It's like more than 15 year now. So yeah, that's here. Let's jump into that our main topic. So yeah, so this slide is basically we also included into our last session. So this is basically the complete overall picture of the customer service. Okay, so what are the things that's involved in the customer service? What are the object? What are the process mainly? So that basically this image summarize. Okay, so here we can see that here we have, let's say, some customer, they have multiple ways that they can reach out to us to open their support case. So they have different channels here, so they can do it from the portals, they can directly call us, or they can send that SMS or use that omni. So there are different ways, like omni channel connectivities options are there where they can reach out to us and support submit a support case, right? So and then once that case is registered, so whether it's a manually or it is auto created, depending on that how this organization utilizing it, based on that it's basically that customer support journey starts from here. And then that case is routed based on that different scenarios. So it's routed to the different queues. So we have different queues, for example, high priority queues, low priority or medium priority, depending on that what is the priority of your case which is open there. So based on that it is assigned to the agents which they work on that resolving that case. So if they know that what's going on, they can immediately resolve it, or maybe they will do some kind of research where they will look into the knowledge base articles, or if this case was already registered, what was the resolution done earlier, or maybe there are some predefined steps that they need to use, or maybe there are some instructions to resolve that case. So all these things basically they spend time on those things and do some kind of research to resolve this as soon as possible. And what's when this is resolved, it's basically notified to the customer that okay, this case is resolved. And there are basically entitlements based on the customer. So how much cases are they are granted that okay, there are free 15 support cases that we will be providing you. So that kind of counter is maintained after that case resolutions, right? So this is basically the overall picture of the customer service, right? So now, Ajit, discuss, like in the last session we discussed how we can create cases using manually using the different options. So today we are basically here to discuss about that, what are the possible options where we can automate this process and create our cases automatically. Okay, so there are, some ways that basically where we use that no code low code approaches here to create the cases, and there are which some process where we can write the code, which basically we used to do earlier. And we, of course, depending on the scenario, we also do nowadays as well. So the first option that we have is the automatically record creation and update rules. So this is basically, there are set of objects that is available into customer service modules, where we can go ahead and we can configure, and we can say that, okay, when this type of things will be there, for example, when this type of activity is created, I want to take the data from this activity and want to create that case, right? If there is any queue is there, I want to monitor that queue, that okay, if something is coming into that queue, I want to take that activity and create that case. Okay, so there are set of different conditions and actions are there that we can use and configure over this option. And we can take that whatever data that is coming into that activity and put it on the case. Okay, so that kind of thing is available on to this automatic case creation, that rule that's there for us. Then another option is basically using the Power Automate. So we can use Power Automate, and here we can say that okay, when some activity is created, so we can monitor it, that okay, when the new record is created for the email or other activities, and then based on that we can capture the data from that activity and create a case record into the dynamics. Okay, so that's the another approach we have, that using that Power Automate tool. And then the traditional way that we used to do earlier, since starting, when we were these options were not there, so we used to create the plugins. We used to based on that, like we used to have that plugin that is registered on the creation of the email record or that other activity records. And when that email record is created, read that set of properties from that entity object, and then create that case record from there. Okay, similarly we can have the customer custom workflows as well that can be done. And then we can also utilize that Azure functions, we can also utilize the logic apps. Okay, so those same things here. So we can, something is as soon as this some record is created into Dynamics 365 CE, so we get the data from there and transfer the data into the case entity. Okay, so those things can be done using the custom code as well. Okay, and then like there is another option, for example, if we have the customer portal, so maybe their customer can go onto the portal, they can visit and they can create that case, they can fill up the data, and then from there we are creating a case, right? So these are kind of thing that behind the scene, that the case is automatically created for us. Okay, so these are the some of the point that we can use on that. Now, this is let's talk about that, because this creation rules and update rules. So this is a typical form where we basically configure that when we want to create a case. So here we can see that this is basically we provide the name of that what we want to give. So for example, just I want to say that create case. Okay, so there are set of activities available here. So when you can select that, okay, which activity you want to monitor, right? So based on that activity selection, it will look into that specific activity. So for example, I have selected here email. Then we have a queue, right? So there is a support queue. So there may be some queues that for example, we can say that if you want to reach out to us, send email to contact us at the rate your domain name, right? So using that email we can set up a queue, and whenever some email will come into that queue, so that will basically, when I'm setting here, it means that this rule going to monitor this specific queue. Okay, so when the some email will be entered as soon as into this queue, then this will trigger, right? And then we have some specific conditions here that we can define. So for example, maybe if some unknown sender is there, though, like when it's creating that record under the two, if that primary email that's coming, that's not basically related to any of the contact or any of that account, any of that record, it's not able to resolve it. So should I it create that email record from this, create this, trigger this rule or not? Okay, so these type of conditions are here, like create case if the valid entitlement exists for the customer. So as I told that every customer we provide some kind of entitlements, like okay, we will provide you 15 cases, or maybe we will take the 15 phone calls, or maybe we will give you 10 on-door services, so where we will go and look out your problem when we will visit your location. So these kind of things are basically comes into the entitlement category. So these are set of cases that we can say here. And there are like other rules as well. We can say that if something is already resolved, do we have any kind of option that we want to say that if this this case is associated with that activity is resolved since like 15 minutes or something. So there are different durations are there which we can use and configure, right? And now these are basically to create that, right? After that this record is created, do we want to send them auto response that to let them know, okay, we have registered a case into our database for you? So there are templates as well. So there are email template which there are out of the box templates are available. So this is for example the case auto response. So this is the out of the box email template exist into the system. But if we want, we can create our own template, our own company specific template, where we can have our own images and our specific the company name and logo, all these things can be put there. So we can also send that auto email after this record is created. Okay, so these things can be configured here. And once we will save it here, then we have that other option that, okay, if there are some other specific conditions we want to apply to create that case. Okay, so there are basically two things here. You can see we have the condition and then we have the action. Under the condition, we can say that maybe let's say we have a separate set of queues that is created, or maybe we have a separate criteria to create that case. Maybe for the customer we have a different set of rules, for the vendors we have a different set of rules. So depending on that, we can check this. So as you can see here that we have a condition like sender account relationship type is equal to customer. So if this email is coming from the account and the relationship type is customer, so we want to check this particular condition here. And then under that action, we can see that we are creating case record. And what button you see here, basically set properties. When you will click on this, so it will open a case form where you will see all that attributes that is available on the case form, and you can get that value and you can autofill that. It's just like, for example, when we create any record using the workflow, in the right hand side we see the set of properties which we want to fill to the form. So similarly here, when you will click on this, it will open a case form, and you can take that data from this activities what email is coming from there and put it into the case. Okay, so once this is created, we can store save, and we can activate this. So we have a concept of activate and deactivate. So when this rule is activated, only then it will trigger. Okay, so let's say we save this and we activate it. Then based on these conditions, when we have this any email entering into the queue, it will automatically detect that, and it will, based on these conditions, it will verify that, okay, if these set of condition is fulfilled. If that is fulfilled, then it will go ahead and it will create the case for us. Okay, so that's what we have, that automatic case creation rule that we can define to automatically create the case behind the scene. Okay, and this is very useful, feature that you don't need to do anything, you just need to configure it, and there is no code involved here. You can simply configure and it automatically the case will be created. Okay, so now we know that how we can create this rule. So let's talk about what is basically queue. So queue is basically, they act as a container. Okay, so all the activities, or we can also create, for the other entities as well. So we have option that we can set up a queue for this. Okay, so as you can see here, this is basically example of that all the queues, and we have seen that these are basically set of cases that is, coming here under that queue. So you can see that we have different types here, like we have cases, we have the email. So similarly, we can have the other activities as well. And we can see here this title basically, providing some basic details about this. And then when it is entered to the queue, so when it came into the queue, it's basically the timing. And then we can see here, this is the, queue, what is the name of the queue, and then if someone is working on this particular case, so the name will be displayed here. So under that queue, when we will see on the demo, when we go to the queue, there are options that if you want to pick up that, case. And okay, let's say if I'm saying that, okay, yeah, this is similar, to me, and I have worked on this kind of case, earlier, then I can take that and I can pick up it, and it will be assigned to me. Okay, and then I can work on that and resolve it, or I can then after this I can release it. Or maybe I can also, if you are like for example, if you are a manager, maybe you can also do some kind of assignment, that you can assign this to, okay, I want to assign this to the different, agents. Okay, so that kind of thing we can use into the queue. So we have public and private queues that is created here for every users and team. So if you will see, in by default, when we have that any system user is created or any team is created, automatically there are queues created with the name of that person or the team. So that's by default that is created. But if we want to create our own queues, just like I said, like maybe we want to create a support queue or high priority queue, depending on the scenario, we can go ahead and we can create public queues. Okay, so that's here. Now let's see that how we can create queue. So this is a typical screen that when we create a queue. So this is an example of a support queue. Let's say for example, I have requirement that, okay, I want to create a support queue, and based on specific email, I want that whenever someone will send email to that specific email address, all that email should come here under that queue. Okay, so here I have created this support queue. This type of this is public, so that it will be available to everyone, for every user here. And then incoming emails, I have provided one email here. So whatever email that we will write it here, it will be monitoring that, and all that items, all the email will be coming here and will be coming under this queue items. Okay, and then here as you can see that we have options for the email setting. So convert the incoming email to the activity. So whatever that email is coming, so all that email, I have selected all the email that will be coming, so it will be creating that email into the system. So that like the email record of the CRM, Dynamics 365. And then when the queue will be created, behind the scene we have the mailbox that will be also created, because this is a email associated to this. And this mailbox will be responsible for the email integration, right? So email is coming, or if I want to send email from this queue, so when you want to send email out of the CRM, you can use the user or a queue. So I can also do that. So this is for that. So all that email integration is happening because of this, right? And then once this queue is created, there is a requirement that we need to approve this email. Okay, so and this can be only done if you are a global admin. So global admin can go ahead and they can approve this, and after this approval it will, this mailbox will start working, and then after that we can test this, the incoming and outgoing rules of the mailbox. So then we can check that if this email integration is working fine for this or not. Okay, so that's the, we have a standard way of creating the queue. Now we know that, okay, how to automatically create that case. Now we know that where the case will go, so that case will be, under come into the this queue. And then there are another thing that's basically we call it routing rules. Okay, so this is also very important part of the customer service. So sometimes we say that, okay, when the case is coming, the case is created. Now whom we want to assign that case, okay, or maybe which queue we want to assign this, which we, let maybe there are, let's say we have three queues. Okay, so high, low, or medium priority. Okay, so when the case will be created, where we want, on which queue we want to send this case. So for that we use this routing rules. We can configure it here from the same, service module. So we have an option that, okay, we can create a rule, and then under that rules here you can see, if I'm saying here that once this is saved I can create the rules. I'm saying the rule one, if the case priority is equal to high, then I want to assign this case to the support queue. Okay, this is just an example, but maybe we have a high support queue, we want to assign the case there. And similarly, set of, based on set of other parameter, it can be anything depending on the business, scenarios. We can say that if this condition will be fulfilled, if this rule criteria will be fulfilled, I want to assign this to the that particular queue. Okay, or maybe if you want to assign to that particular user or team, then you can select this option, and then you will have this user entity, the lookup will be there, and then you can do that assignment based on these rules. Okay, so that's the another important part of the customer service. So these basically here we use for the routing of the cases. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to show you here on this thing. Now we will jump into that demo. So I will pass mic to my friend Venkata, and he will show you all the things what we discuss here. Okay, Venkata, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Mahindra for giving this explanation about this service customer service part two for the automatic case creation. So let me present my screen.
Okay.
Okay, hope you can see my screen.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, so the first thing, right? We do have the different kinds of model-driven apps that are present. One is the customer service hub and the customer service admin. So these two are the apps that you have to look into it. Before introduction of all these app kind of UCI apps, that is before 2015, like that, everything is present just as an customer service module only. But once we get this particular unified interface, then all these customer related module kind of things that are available, most of the functionality as a part of the model driven apps. So if you observe that this is the customer service admin and this is the customer service hub related. Okay. So in this particular customer service admin, right, first we have to see about, so let me zoom it for some time. Okay. So if I zoom it here, uh, so we do have the different kinds of left navigation pan that is present, where we have to see about the customer support. that we have discussed in the first part of these customer service sessions. So here, right, we do have the queues and routing and the channels that are present. So if you go for this particular first, the routing, right, we do have different kinds of routing that is present. One is okay, basic routing rules, and so this is the fundamental things, but there are other things like preferred agent rule and skill based routing rule and all these things. So so let us go to this basic routing rule sets. So in this particular rule sets, right, we do have all these things. So like, just we can create one particular name rule set, and then once this is created, right, then I can go for this new rule item, where I will be setting that here I can add that particular criteria, like add row. So if that email, so I have the different kinds of things that are present. So the rule criteria is on the case entity, whatever the details that are present. If the case email, or else you can say the status of the case is equals, or else you can say the priority also. So just see like what are all the things that are available. Here I have the whatever the details that I have it on the case. That means all the columns that are present on the case, right? Those details are already available. So I can simply select any of these things. But if you have any perform thing, right? If, for example, if it is an escalated case, if it is yes, then what I am going to do, right? Just I will be going through term to the user or the particular team, where I can mention that if I have an escalation user team that are present, then I can be get them. So otherwise, just I will keep that one as is. Okay. So for now, just I will keep it as an queue, and for this queue, right, just I will keep these different queues that are present. So just simply I will push this to this particular test queue. So after that, just I can save and close this. So once this is done, right, just you can refresh that one. This is an normal one. In case if you don't find this particular rule items, then and you can also activate this one. You can have the other things like if you wanted to run any Power Automate flows and all, right, you can do that one. So just for it, right, just I am activating this one. So this is how you can perform the routing. So that means if at all you create any particular case with the escalation is more, then you will get these details. So there was some issue that was happening. So just give me a minute. Okay. So already these things that are present, so rule set that is present, and already one. So at a time, right, only one rule set has to be activated. So let us do one thing. Let us activate this rule set. Okay. So the other rule set which has been created by the other team member, so that's why I could not change it. But once this is present, right, so the rule set can be activated. So once this rule set gets activated, so any case that you will get created, right, then within this particular status as an escalation is equal to the rule criteria. If it is escalated is equal to yes, then it will be assigned to this particular test queue. So how you will be doing it, right? Just again, you have to go back to this customer service one, customer service hub. In this particular customer service hub, uh, you can have these particular cases. So if I click on this new case, and then just I will be assigning to the customer, and the origin I got it to in the form of an email. And then I will go for other details like we'll see that escalation is yes. Now when I save this one, right, so automatically as in the earlier part, if that rule was activated, then this particular case will go and assign to that particular queue. If not, right, then what I can do, right, just I can uh, I wanted to route this particular case, I will say this as route. So where do you want it to route is right, so it gets routed into this particular queue. So let me see here what are all the cases that are being created. So let us get that one. So escalation product malfunction, this was the one that has been raised, and if you observe, right, this case will go and see here the set of activities. Also one particular activities gets created where you can perform the any particular activity. So if suppose I can also create an email saying that okay, so I can reply all that particular email, and I can say that an issue. So I can, if I can send an email and your mailbox is been configured, then the details you will definitely see it in that their email. Okay. So now when coming to this other part of it, right? So just I am discarding these particular changes, and when coming to these queues, right? So again, this is customer service hub, customer service admin. So here, right, as an admin, I can create these particular queues, and if you click on this manage, right, the basic queues can be created. So once this particular queue can be created, right, as I mentioned, right, so whenever any particular email has been configured or that was set up, right, as an email box, then by a default, automatically a queue gets created. So basically, right, I can give any of this particular name of the queue, and incoming email I can give some kind of email example for your organization. You wanted to track like uh, any contact at the rate of your organization.com, or any support at the rate of your organization.com, and in order to automate that one, right, so like generally, right, there should be some person who is verifying that particular mailbox and alerting to the sales team or others on the respective teams to look into it, right. So in order to automate, right, already in our customer service model driven app, or in this particular customer service app, we have this concept of this particular queue where we can specify that queue or the email. So whenever any email that comes to this particular email, then what will we going to do, right? Then this particular queue will get automated and then convert all the email into activities. So if you observe, right, these are all the different things that are present, like all email messages in response to the Dynamics 360 email, and all email messages to leads and records or emails and no email box. And another thing, right, here you have to consider, once you save, then that respective mailbox will get activated. So as the email creation and approval requires the permission, where here I will show you here the test queue that was already has been created. So in this particular test queue, right, if you observe, this was the incoming email. Just I have configured, right, for this particular email ID. If I get any particular one query from this one, right, then automatically it will go into this particular mailbox. So in this one, right, so simply you can go back to here and then see it. If you observe, right, this was an test email that got sent to this particular queue. Okay, so this one has been present. So let us do this one, right? So what is the thing, right? Whatever uh, the kind of email messages that you will send from any of it, right? So that means for this particular queue, you have configured like whatever the incoming messages to one particular email ID that gets tracked into the dynamic CRM. So let us see how that can be present. So what I'm going to do, right? So just give me one minute. So yeah, so let me share it. Right. So here what I am going to do, right? So just I am testing to here. So issue with product. So just I am sending. This is an external mail that you can see it here, and then uh, okay. So let me come back to here again. Okay. So Mahender, you can see my screen, right? Just confirm.
Yeah,
This is
yeah, it,
okay.
yeah.
Yes. So just if you observe, right, this in this advanced find, where just I am filtering out the email messages. So
We
just
cannot
if
see that advanced find.
okay, just give me a minute then. So let me share my screen one more time. Okay. So if you see, right, this my advanced find, just I am seeing about the email messages. So what I have configured earlier was, so for a queue it has one email ID. So any email comes to that particular email ID, what I have designed, right, an email message should be created. So if I go back to here, then if you see, right, this query test 3 has been created. Okay, so this was the one that has been selected. So let us do one thing, just let us filter it. So if you observe, these are all the test emails that we have got it. So just now, if you observe, right, this was the one that I have sent it from other email ID where I have targeted to one. So if I open this one, right, you can see this one. So from where this particular one has been created, and from where I got it and to whom I got this one, and also what is the subject and what is the thing that is present. It is the issue with the product. And this record status has been marked as completed because an email activity is already been created. So if you wanted to save that one, right, you can do that. Otherwise, I can also convert this to an case.
Um, we cannot see that pop-up. Venkata.
Yes, so just give me a minute. Okay. So now if you observe, right, so just I will rewind. So test case 4 is the one that is the email that I have sent it from another email. So what it has done, right, it came to my Dynamics 365 CRM, and how it came, right, so my particular queue that has been configured to that email ID where all the request comes. So whenever any request that is email comes, right, so there is no need for my agent team or any manager to open that particular email unmonitored box. Simply, right, they can open this particular dynamic CRM, and then just they can open this email messages. So just I saw it, okay, test case 4, I got it, and I went to this issue with the product. Then, so I feel, right, okay, then this particular customer, as he was mentioning, right, issue with the product. Then what is the other thing, right? What is the thing that you can do it, right? You can convert this into a particular case. So saying that open the new case, yes, and change the email status completed, and close from. So just I am converting it. So there should be one pop-up that is present during the presentation, right? So this automatically it navigates to one particular case where all the details that are being captured here. So if you observe, right, a case is created with the case title as this one, a customer, and the origin is the email. And if you observe, automatically the beauty of here are the dynamic CRM. So automatically whatever the case as an activity which was closed, right, that particular case will gets linked to this particular case. Okay, so these are the things that you can remember whenever you try to do this one also, right? As I did this particular case conversion as an auto manual one, you can also perform that case routing rules with the priority if it is having the problems with the keywords, like an issue with the product, all these things. Then in that case, right, uh, so just I can say this particular look for the project that okay, there was an general I can say, or else I can also keep other respective priorities. So if you observe, right, service suggestions, water supply unexpected shutdown, just I can keep this one products or like that. As this is an escalation one for related to the product, right? Then I can go with another predefined subjects as well. So just I will keep it as an general, and from there you can go for this enhance SLA details as well. So I can keep this escalation as yes, and then I can save this one. So whenever you are, so it appears to be very much simple, but what kind of challenges that you will face during this one, right? So whenever you are creating this particular queue, so let me go back to this particular queues, and see about this test queue. So if you observe, right, this test queue is associated with one particular email, right? So for that particular email, so there will be one mailbox that got associated with it. So that mailbox will not get opened here. So what you have to do, right? Just you have to go back to the settings part of it. Here you can go back to the email configuration, and here there will be mailboxes that are present. So in these particular mailboxes, you have to select the respective mailbox. So what I can do, right? So just I will select this T, then test queue. So if I click on this test queue, right, then that particular mailbox gets opened. So main important thing that you have to consider, right, this mailbox uh, configuration can only be done by the global admin of your uh, tenant. Okay, not the environment, but at the tenant level, whoever the global admin is there, those people only can do that one. Okay, so this is the classic way or the classic window that you can do it, and where you can do it once you got that particular access, right? So you can test it, like here few of the things that you have to keep it, like server profile you have to mention it as a Microsoft Exchange Online, and if it is incoming email, you wanted to track irrespective of the any email router that you are getting, you can keep this on server side. Otherwise you can keep the Dynamics 365 for Outlook or forward mailbox as well. So you can ask me a question. So Venkat, okay, mailbox has been created. How can we test or how can we make sure that this particular mailbox is working or not? So you can create on this test and mail and enable box. Then what will happen, right? You can go back to alerts, and if you observe, right, just now test queue is currently used by my user. So change email address test queue to this particular one, then only you will get it. But if you see the history whenever that,
We cannot see that dialog.
okay, so just let me show this one. Hope you can see, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you observe, right, so this was the test mail queue that has been present. So only global admin can do this one. And if you observe, right, the mailbox, your mailbox is now connected to Dynamics 365, and this is how you will get it. The thing, if you observe, right, I have tested it. So the email configuration test your mailbox test group was completely successful for the incoming email, and any kind of appointments, contact, tasks that you will see it, right, that come and sit here in this particular test queue. So this was the important thing that you will do it. So example, right, if I try to click on this approve email, um, see what will happen. Because I was not in global administrator. Also, either I'm not in exchange administrator role as well. So that's why, right, I cannot do any kind of thing. So at times, right, only global admins can do this one. What will happen, right? So the best practices what we will be suggesting, right, for any people who are working on this test queues, queues creation, right, you should be very much uh, okay, there should be limited number of queues that be present, so that it will be easy for any kind of maintenance. And also, right, for this queue configuration and all, you need the support of the global admins of your uh, the Dynamics 365 CE tenant who are been maintaining. So with that, right, just you can how you can create any particular routing rules, and how you can provide the rule sets that you can do it. Also, right, during the creation of this particular rule set, automatically there are couple of case creation conditions that Power Automate flows that gets created, so which are recently has been added. So what will be right when an incoming activity triggers to the flow, then create a record. This will be created, and then create a record of the incoming activity. So by default, right, these will get created whenever you are creating any particular case. So just for the time being, for the interest of time, right, just I have not showed like how this Power Automate flow gets created, but these are all out of box only. So also, right, it mentioned, right, do not delete or rename these things. Okay, so if you
Uh,
observe, these are the case creation rules. Yep.
yeah, Venkata, I think let's quickly go through that automatic rule, case creation rule as well.
Right.
I think
So
that let's cover that. We are running out of time, so we can cover that.
right. So if you observe, right, this is the case creation rules. Okay, let me go back to like this. Otherwise,
I think maybe we can go to that, second tab from the settings. We can go to this, maybe we can next demonstrate from the service module
right,
section under the settings. Yeah. I think second tab you have opened already settings. Yeah.
right.
From here. Yeah. Yeah. We have this, service management, under that we can have that.
Okay,
Yeah. It's first under the business, fourth option.
okay. Yeah, service
Yeah.
management. So in the service management, we do have these routing rule sets that you can give it, and automatic record creation and update rules that you can do it like this. Just click on this new, and then you can specify this particular rule and all, and what kind of queue that you are going to create. Those things that you can provide, and once that is done, so you can mention this create records of the email form and all, and send an automatic email for this cool, and then you can specify this automatic email response and email to be selected to this. There are these different kind of cases that are present, automatic different templates. So I can give it as an case auto response. Once this is saved, right? So once this is particular, this one has been saved, right? Then you can use this specify record. So here you can mention that particular one.
I think it's again the pop-up. We cannot see it.
Okay, so just one.
Yeah.
So this was the new creation rule that gets opened. So just you have to save this one first. Once that is done, right, we need to add. You must so to add the condition, to add any kind of condition first, what we have to do, right, we have to save that one. So now what we can do here, just we can select that respective details. So email is the primary entity, and okay, if it has some kind of category, if it contains some kind of data, then okay, if email category contains data, then only this particular set of this rule will work. So here I can add this particular step like create record, like, or else I can also select another things like send email also, that will be present. So either I can create this particular email, or then I can also send create an particular case as well, that related case. So if I wanted to uh, set that properties, I can also set that particular properties. But I see we are running out of this particular time, but this is how you can easily create that one. So once you save and close this one, a case gets created, and this is how the record creation and update rule item that is been present. So post that one, you can activate this particular rule. So now this is particular active. So whenever any email that comes from here, right, then this particular rule, record creation and update rule, will get triggered. So yeah, with that, it ends my demo of it. So Mahender, do you wanted to add something?
No, I think, thank you for the demo, Venkat, and think that's what we wanted to cover today. The main topics like the customer service, how we can automatically create a case using the set of create rules, and how we can route that cases using the routing rules, and how we can define the queue and just monitor that queues. Okay, so we will keep on doing our session on the customer service. Now we have some more topics that we want to cover on that. So stay tuned with us for the next episode for the business application. So thank you very much.